What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the video, and hello to all the newcomers to this channel. My name is Soda, and today I'm going to be showing you guys my ALC settings on this video. As you guys know, my last video, I made a linear settings video. It wasn't ALC, but I've finally kind of figured out a little here and then how to really dive deep into the ALC settings itself. So these settings are a little bit of the same as last time, but I've made a few tweaks here and then, so let's go ahead and dive right into it. So for the gameplay, we have interact prompt style, we have on default. The button hints are off. The crosshair damage feedback is off. The damage numbers are stacking. The ping opacity is faded. The obituaries are on. The mini-map rotation is off. The weapon auto cycle on empty is off. The auto sprint is on. The double tap sprint is off. Incoming damage feedback 2D. Taking damage closes death box on crafting or crafting menu is off. The hop up pop up is on for me. The streamer mode is off. The anonymous mode is disabled. The usage sharing, these are literally your preference right here. These last four. I have the usage sharing enabled, and then I have the performance display off. The club invites are enabled for me because I'm in a club with my friends and stuff as a group. And right here, I'm going to show you guys the colorblind mode. I play on Tritanopia for various reasons. For the red dot sight, you see it's yellow. Previously, it's red. The reason I have it on yellow is because when I go to shoot enemies, it's going to be a red crosshair, and the red crosshair is pretty much going to take up all the damage. And like, you see the red at the end there? When they have no shield, once their shield is off, you're going to see all the red like flash around them whenever you deal a lot of damage because all the blood and, you know, stuff is spilling everywhere. And it's also kind of blending in with the damage numbers as well. So that's why I have my sight on yellow. That way I can, you know, just see the enemies better. Let me go ahead and show you guys a closer up difference of what I mean by that. So when it's off, you see how it's red. It kind of blends in, and it can really throw. I mean, sometimes people think it's best to like target it, so you know you're kind of staying on the enemies for the whole time. But I feel like yellow really helps with my aim, especially if I'm using snipers, not just you know SMGs or LMGs or assault rifles or just stuff like that. But it just really helps me track on into my enemies so I can see where they are at all times, so I'm not throwing my aim off all the time. So we're gonna go ahead and set that back. So I have subtitles off. Normal off, and converting incoming voice to chat text is off. So now we're going to go ahead and get into the controller stuff. This is the juicy stuff that everyone wants to see. So I'm going to go over this again how I went in my last video. My controller presets, you can play on button puncher, right? You can play on button puncher. Or if you're me and you're crazy and you play claw with one hand, you can go ahead and play on ninja. So most claw players, I know they'll have a certain like bind setup. That's why it's easier for them to like, you know, access stuff when they play. But if you're not really a claw player, go ahead and play button puncher. Button puncher is not too bad. So if you're a claw player, I would recommend trying ninja, or even if you are a claw player and you don't want to play on ninja, I would recommend playing on button puncher. Same for those that aren't claw players. So non-claw players, go ahead and try button puncher. Claw players, go ahead and try ninja, or you guys can try both. Oh, if you guys want to try these settings, I don't use these anymore, but if you guys want to go ahead and mess with them and see how they're comfortable with you, go ahead. I used to use these back when I first started playing as a sweat and trying to get used to, you know, most of the binds and the controller settings in this game. These are pretty good for me, but if you guys want to go ahead and try and mess around with these, go ahead. All right, so the stick layout is on default. The interact reload button is tap to use and reload. The crouch button is on hold. So this is for obvious reasons of the crouch spam. So if I have it on hold, I'm just going to be holding down my crouch button. I'm just going to be holding like this. And if I let go, I'm just going to stand right up. So if I press the button once, it's just going to crouch spam. Aim button is on hold. Survival slot off. This is the, I'm pretty sure you guys know what this is. This is with the whole mobile respawn beacon and the heat shields. So like when you press on the left D-pad or whatever your interact button is, it doesn't do it anymore. You have to actually go to the equip wheel to do a CSS inspect weapon. Oops. So that's why I have this off, so I can just, you know, actually interact faster, because I actually liked it like this. Okay, so the trigger dead zones are none. The menu cursor speed is right under the O. I kind of like it like fast, a little bit medium but fast, like, you know, to getting in the death box so I can kind of see what I actually need. I'm still working on my eyesight with the death box in this game. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the advanced loot controls. I don't know why, but I can't even scroll all the way down. I have to look at this tiny little line down here and actually click on it to see my my settings here. So the custom look controls here, the ALC settings, I know I said I quit ALC settings in the last video, but I've kind of gotten around it and I've messed with a little bit of it, and I'm going to show you guys a few, I'm going to give you guys a few preferences with the ALC settings that I have here. So the dead zone here I have on 4. The reason I have a low dead zone, yes, there is stick drift. I did talk about stick drift in my last video. But don't worry, you're not really going to be feeling most of the stick drift when you play. So if you guys want to go ahead and put your dead zone as at 4, just so you guys know what I mean, go ahead and do that right now, just so you guys can see what I mean with the dead zone at 4. You'll notice stick drift when you stand still, or depending on like how your controller, like your analog sticks, how old your controller is, but most of the time the stick drift is only like this. But if I have my controller stick like pretty much all the way to the left, or like if it's slanted just a bit, it'll go crazy. But trust me, I did talk about this in my last video. With the stick drift, you won't really even notice it when you're playing the game, like when you're fighting people, but you'll get used to it eventually. And then the outer threshold is on 2%. So it's going to be a little tricky for you guys to get these numbers. So just kind of, I know it's going to suck, but just trust me. Try to get these numbers like to get it to the right spot so you guys can get these numbers down right. So we got 4 on dead zone. We got 2 on outer threshold. We have 4 on the response curve. Now the per optic settings I have off. I do not use per optic ADS settings. I feel comfortable for the way they are, the default. So the yaw speed and the pitch speed, so these two, I could recommend you guys 340, 350, or 360. You guys can try these 3. I'm comfortable right in the middle. But I've found out, basically with my last settings, like with my last settings, they weren't equal. But with ALC settings, it feels very smooth. It doesn't feel funny and weird. But ALC settings, I don't know what it is. It's just so smooth. It feels so much better. So that was the yaw and pitch speed. So now the ADS yaw speed and the ADS pitch speed. These are basically going to be equal as well. I only recommend doing 140 or 130 on both of these. So just make them equal how you do with the yaw and the pitch. And then my target compensation and my melee target compensation are both on. So now for the video, this is my brightness right here. Brightness is basically your preference, but this is my brightness. The field of view, I'm going to go ahead and recommend you guys try 106, 108, and 110. Just for these settings, for ALC settings wise, you'll understand what I mean when you mess with the field of view, because you'll definitely feel a change with your aim with these settings. So it's basically best to have a wider view settings, like a wider field of view for these settings. That way you kind of feel your aim around the enemies. You can track better as well. The sprint view shake is minimal. And my audio here, master volume audio is 100, sound effects volume 100, dialogue 100, or you could just go down to 70 or 75. I have a headset that basically detects, like, you know, the actual game or shooting audio, so I don't really need the dialogue volume. I mean, it's your preference, but if you don't have like a good headset like mine, or, you know, if you don't have a headset that will actually, you know, determine more of the shooting and the actual gameplay, like the master footsteps and sound effects and stuff, go ahead and turn the dialogue down to 75, or, you know, if you're like me, then go over 100. I really don't care about the dialogue. It doesn't really affect me in the game. The music volume I have at 25%, and then the lobby music volume I have at 70%. And then the disable voice chat is on off, and the convert incoming voice chat to chat text. Alright guys, so now I'm going to be showing you how to basically improve your aim or practice improving your aim so you can hit most of your shots when facing people in Apex Legends. Alright guys, so the first tip that I'm going to get in with you guys is learning how to control a gun's recoil pattern. So I know most of you guys really don't understand the flatline recoil and how the recoil is just so bulky and it's just so, it goes all over the place sometimes when you're not really like actually paying attention. As you can see, it just does that. I wasn't controlling that recoil pattern at all. So I'm going to show you guys how to control your recoil pattern with certain guns, or just any gun. You could practice this with any gun that you're having trouble with, or you know, just learn it like all the guns recoil patterns if you would like, so you can just dominate in every game. So you can, you know, have better accuracy and just hit all your shots. So you guys want to go ahead and grab a gun. Don't grab any attachments at all. So just grab a gun, grab a bunch of ammo. So just basically go up to any place that has like a flat rock surface. So we'll go like over here, for example. So what you guys want to do, maybe get a pretty good distance about right here from this rock. So what you're going to want to do is don't control the recoil at all. Go ahead and just start shooting without holding your analog stick. So as we can see, the recoil pattern, it goes up and it goes to the left, it turns back around, and then it goes all the way to the left and goes up. So usually if a gun is shooting its recoil going that way, you're going to want to control the gun's recoil going this way. So I'll show for example right here. So if the recoil pattern is going up like this, then you're going to want to go ahead and hold right on the analog stick just a bit, but try to get used to like controlling you know, how much you actually need to control with the gun. So I'm going to go ahead and do this right here. See, that wasn't too bad. So I'm basically just holding a little bit right down on my analog stick, on my right analog stick. So it's kind of just controlling the recoil instead of just going up that way. It's just kind of staying in one spot. So I'm going to do it again right here. We got one bullet there and one bullet there. I think that's because I stopped aiming. So we'll go ahead and try it on the bots right here. So we're going to go ahead and you just start shooting without holding your analog stick, so just let it go. So it's going to be like that. And then when you learn how to control the recoil, it's just going to be like this. Just like that. So that's a tip I would recommend trying doing. So I'm going to go ahead and do it with another gun. Let's do the M301 carbine. We'll go ahead and practice this gun's recoil. I'm pretty sure no one really needs to practice this gun's recoil since it already lasers, but there's a few times here and then where this gun will kind of kick a little bit, but not too much. So we'll go ahead and do it right over here. So I'm going to go ahead and just shoot the gun without holding it. So it makes a little bit of a sideways horseshoe, a little bit. It's just going up. So it's going to go up and then down. So basically, if I were to do this, I would just... It's kind of almost going to make a little bit of a difference because it's still going to kick up no matter what. But if you try holding it, I guess, a little bit to the right, but not too much, because it's still going to kick upward. This gun kicks upward when you first shoot it. See, that was a little better. So, see, I don't even really know how to control this gun's recoil pattern yet either, because I don't really use this gun, even though this gun dominates in the game. But right here, this is probably the best that I've demonstrated. So really, pretty much just go ahead and just keep practicing your recoil patterns with certain weapons until you get the hang of, like, you know, making a smaller recoil pattern on the gun. So I still need to work on it just a little bit. See, they're getting a little bit smaller. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. Yeah, I definitely improved from these last ones. Alright, so also guys, with the controlling the recoil pattern on weapons and such, after you've done that, go ahead and grab yourself some attachments for the weapon and just start practicing the recoil patterns with certain like attachments that you like normally get in the game, and just start seeing how they work. So just like that, I basically killed that guy within a couple bullets. It's also nice to start aiming, like to practice aiming for the head when you practice these recoil patterns, because when you have a small recoil pattern, just like what we did over there and over there, you're going to notice that you're going to be landing more shots and you'll definitely be killing them faster than you because they don't really know how to mainly control recoil patterns just yet. So that's a smaller recoil. Even if you want to practice it from far, you're more than welcome to. But what I would recommend, if you're going to do it from far, go ahead and use a sight that's, a sight that will definitely help you shoot far. Alrighty guys, that was the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoy these settings and a few of the tips that I had to provide to getting better aim. Also, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Only a small majority of people are actually subscribed, while a majority of people aren't subscribed. I mostly make funny moments videos and setups and tutorial videos. I'm going to be getting more into a schedule for my YouTube. I am close to finishing up school, so I'm going to be trying to make YouTube a full-time job if I can. And I really appreciate your guys' love and support on these last few videos. It really means a lot to me. I really hope you guys liked this video. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications on, and share my videos to others for these settings, because I know they will kick ass when playing Apex Legends with these settings. Comment down below if you subscribe. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace out.